right here we have the head shell and the cartridge, this black part, and the white part is the stylus or needle. And all of these pretty much make up the the whole gamut. How this is how the grooves become amplified and pushed through your sound system. So without this little chunk of mechanics or machine right here, the rest of it would be pretty useless. And as you can see from the record here, there's lighter parts and darker parts, and the light parts have no sound or are really quiet. So what you do to start a record, you just would go to press play, wait till you hit a groove, and as soon as you're ready to play it, you just let it go.
Take your money.
In order to keep the culture alive and to keep things, you know, keep things going, you know, in this tradition, keeping it alive. I've decided, you know, to master the turntables with the vinyl, and you know, and then from there we'll see where I go. DJing is pretty simple, but when you get down to the really technical aspects of it, you could really get nitpicky about it, and it's the fun part about it. I mean, it's a real art form, and you can go back and forth and make a completely new song out of two records. You know, you could even take the same two records and turn it into something that sounds nothing like the original. You have to constantly be challenging yourself, because you can make something sound really good, but you know, like, a crowd's really not gonna notice all the time. So it's something that you have to constantly push yourself for, and not a lot of DJs do that. And you know, even I get lazy sometimes, because I'm like, oh, I could just rock the party with a really bad. I could just go into the next song, or I could wait out the whole song and then drop a beat in, which is a lot easier. Or I can take out certain songs, I can manipulate the sound, which is definitely a lot more involved of a process, because you have to know the beats per minute of your song. You gotta listen for that bass hit or the snare hits. So right there, I'm gonna use that, and that's the first note. So that's the first note. So if I had a record going, I'd count this record 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and then I'd release this one. You can take like paper towels or pieces of plastic and cut them and put them under your slip mats, and you'll get better kickback. That's something I learned, you know, just from like listening to hip hop, and they were talking about, you know, like raiding their parents' kitchen for, you know, tablecloths and stuff, and just grabbing them and cutting them up, and then they figured out they could, you know, get a better kickback, you know, when they did their scratching. You know, like Grandmaster Flash, or, you know, Kid Theodore, all those folks would were pretty much inventors. They invented, you know, like a whole culture in like improvised and it was completely DIY. You know, they found stuff, they scrounged together, you know, like stereo components that their fathers and mothers had just, you know, just sitting in the living room, and they turned it into a sound system and had huge parties. And yeah, so pretty much they had what we would now consider really lo-fi gear, and but they rocked parties and people loved it.
They turn a bar.
It's definitely an old standby, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I mean, it's over 130 years to the, you know, 131 years. I think this year the turntable was invented and patented. So, I mean, it's really not going anywhere. And audiophiles and all those people that are really into sound quality and preservation of audio um, will keep it alive. But also, you know, DJs and hip hop heads and all those folks that are really into music and collecting it. You know, they're keeping this art form alive.